Last year, me and Biaunca had a son. I wound up getting incarcerated. While I was incarcerated, the chaplain came and explained to me that my 6-month-old son had passed. It was devastating. I mean, last time I had seen him, it was when he was 1 month old, so it was my first son, so it was kind of hard. I didn't really talk to Biaunca until probably that night of him passing. Biaunca told me she picks up her baby, he's cold, he's unresponsive, not breathing. At that time, she runs, she knocks on everyone's door, help me, help me, help me. My baby's not breathing. They actually wound up resuscitating him. After that, he's dead on arrival at the hospital. It was hard. I mean, the second day of me talking on the phone with her, it was actually hard on me because they was having a candlelight for him. I wasn't there for my family at the time, and it made it even harder on me, so. I wound up getting released from jail early so I can come home and bury my son and make the funeral. We go to the funeral home. They asked me, do I want to see the body? I'm like, yeah, I want to see my son. And when I get to the casket, I don't even recognize my son. And that's hard. That just lets me know, like, I missed so much of his life. What I want to say after about 2 weeks after I've been out of jail, okay, she says she's on the phone with the autopsy people, and she comes in the house and explains to me that we need to proceed on with the lawsuit. Okay, she tells me that the cause of death for my son is mold from suffocation. Me and my family member, we get on the phone, we're talking to a family lawyer. He wants to talk to the autopsy person himself. He tells us that the cause of death was suffocation. I asked him, so there's no mold in his system? There was no mold found in his system at all? He's like, no. Where did you hear that from? I'm like, well, that's what the mother told me. He's like, no, that's not what happened. I don't know who told her that, but if she's telling you that, this investigation might not be over. We may have to reopen it. A baby doesn't just up and pass and then you lie about it and say that mold was the cause of death, but that's not what the medical examiner told me. As time goes on, I start to doubt Biaunca's story. It's a little fishy, something's not adding up. I think there's a chance that she might have could have hurt my son. That's why I'm here today. But the day before my son dies, she gets into a heated argument with my fiance and an ex-girlfriend of mine. I think that's one of the reasons that she hurt my son. But I have not been in a relationship with Biaunca since November. About a week ago, I proposed to Nisa. We already have two children together. And since this situation has happened, Biaunca, she's really been on me and Nisa's back really hard, been calling us, hitting us up on Facebook, just really mad, just telling Nisa like that was her ring. And I mean, I'm just here today to just try to get closer, that's all. I want to find out if she hurt my son. I want to find out if she's responsible for his death.
It is crazy. Like, this is crazy. How could me and you be together a whole year and a half before you go to jail with a child? With a child, we're in love. We're happily staying together. And now that 6 months later, after our son passed, not a day later, not a week later, not when you expect it, not no time later, once you start being around your family and start standing around your family and letting them, and not grieving with me when I was your fiance at the time, he was a mama's boy.
And how old was he at the time?
He was 6 months. He was a mama's boy. That was my heart. My kids are my heart. And we was literally, I was playing with him. It was nothing, like, I never thought nothing out of the ordinary. Around 4 o'clock, he was also teething. So around 4 o'clock, I'm like, you know, son, you still haven't went to sleep. You took a quick nap at 12, and that was just enough for me to hop in the shower. You still haven't, you know, went to sleep. I need you to go to sleep because I got school. I got work in the morning, and you have school. So when I went to wake him up, it was around 5. I tickled his feet because that's how I usually wake him up. I tickled his feet and I was singing Bruno Mars to him. And he didn't wake up. So I was like, oh, Kyle, you becoming a hard sleeper. That's why I told you to go to sleep. And as I pulled him down to change his pamper, he wasn't like, it was just like stiff. And it wasn't stiff to where it was cold. It was stiff to, like, as you could tell, it's like how you catch a Charlie horse. It was one of those kind of stiff. And I'm looking at my baby eyes. I could see where he started needing oxygen because around his mouth started turning blue. So I start to panic. I'm panicking. I'm like panicking. I go in and I wake up my other family member who's on the living room floor, and I'm like, get up. My baby is not waking up. My baby is not waking up. I hand him the baby while I run out and get help. He's paranoid. My other family member is paranoid. We have kids in the house that's paranoid, that doesn't know what's going on. And I'm trying to say, I'm like, how could you accuse me of hurting our child? It's not just my child. I didn't just lose a child within this, but how can you accuse us of hurting?
So what happened? An ambulance came?
The ambulance came. They ended up calling the ambulance. Everybody in my breezeway was on the phone with the ambulance, with 911. Everybody was calling 911. One of my neighbors was actually trying to resuscitate him. He was back to catching his breath. They didn't declare my son dead until we got to the hospital. Don't accuse me of harming my son, and then you have my kids questioning me. You didn't say this in private. You never told me this. You never told me this how you felt. Now all of a sudden, a week before my son's birthday, you want to start telling me you feel like this? Like that's sad. That's sad. Forget what you talking about, because that's sad that you came all the way out here filled with nothing but lies. I never lied to you. How could you possibly accuse me of killing our son when you be having your other kids around me? If you feel like I harmed your kids, don't have other people's kids around me. That's stupid on y'all behalf. If you ever felt like I hurt my son, you should have told me that from day one.
You were with Biaunca. Were you before you went to prison, was your son born?
Yes, sir. He was born on January 9th. I went in the end of January or February.
Oh, so you only got to be with him for a couple weeks?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And when you were with Biaunca at this time, you're happy with her?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Very.
So you go away, you're incarcerated, and the relationship continues even though you're incarcerated?
Yes, sir.
And you get out, you're still in prison.
I'm in jail.
You're in jail.
I'm in prison.
I'm sorry, I mixed that up. You're in jail, and who tells you that your son passed away?
Actually, the chapel comes and tells me.
And tell me about that.
He says, you have an 8-month-old son? I'm like, no, I don't have an 8-month-old son. I have a 5-month-old son that's gonna be 6 months. He's like, isn't his name Yasir? I'm like, yes. He's like, well, he passed this morning. I didn't really know because I wasn't communicating with anybody. I didn't have a phone at that time. I'm still trying to get on my feet coming out of jail. So I wound up going to my parents' house, and she explains to me that I need to get a lawyer if it's really that serious. So she tells me about a family lawyer, and he's like, okay, I'll have y'all on the phone, and we're gonna call the medical examiner. We call, he tells us that basically he dies from SIDS. I don't really know what that is or how it is. I don't know. I've never lost a child, so I mean, just losing a child is hard. Yeah. But he basically explains to me he dies from SIDS. I'm like, okay. So me and my mom, we asked, like, there's no mold in his system at all. He's like, no, where did you hear that from? And I thought about it for a second. Well, I'm like, well, the mother of the child told me that. He was like, well, if she's telling you that, we might have to reopen up this investigation.
What was your relationship like with Biaunca?
Me and her, we had a good relationship due to the fact, we had kids together.
Sure.
And, I wanted them to be together. If she's going to be in his life, the kids, obviously, we're going to be in their lives as well.
Siblings.
So
right.
Why not just get along for the kids?
This does seem to be a big issue, but maybe not with you. I just want to ask your opinion. Even if he did buy the ring for her and changed his mind and got engaged to you, does that bother you at all?
It doesn't. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. Right. Because, hold on, let me talk.
Right.
I'm sorry, Steve. I can't be on stage with two stupid people.
But she's got...
It's stupid. This is stupid.
I didn't believe that she would harm our child.
Right.
Because I've seen her child. I've seen him. Right. I've even tried to hold him. He was a beautiful baby. A very beautiful baby. And it would be so devastating to lose a child.
Sure.
That's actually here on earth, to hold, to bathe, to feed. That's devastating.
Why do you care that he's engaged to her?
I don't care. That's the thing.
That's the main thing.
Look, Steve.
That's all she's talking about.
Steve, to be honest, I I came on this show for my son. But when
That's
you
not what we talking about, though.
Okay, but I can't.
We talking about rings and engagement.
Steve.
We not talking about.
Let's find out. Bianca came here and we gave her a lie detector test. We've broken it into 2 parts. The first part is concerning the death of your son. Do you know of any deliberate actions that caused your son's death? She answered no. Did you deliberately do anything to cause your son's death? No. The results came back the same to each question, and they came back that Bianca told the truth.
Thank you!
We gave Bianca a lie detector test concerning the cheating.
Chill.
And we asked her, did you have sex with Malik after November? She answered yes. Did you have sex with Malik on January 4th? She answered yes. Did you or Malik end the relationship in November? She answered no. Did Malik give Niecy the engagement ring he bought for you? She answered yes. The results came back all the same, and it came back that Bianca told the truth.
Thank you! Thank you! Thank you, Niecy. I was telling you this wasn't genuine. He was doing this to make me mad. I'm telling you, Malik did this out of spite. Malik did this to turn us against each other. Let me tell you one thing, Niecy.
Okay, hold on. I have to interject there. I know your feelings are hurt. I understand it. Let me be the voice of reason here. I believe maybe there was some stuff happening that maybe shouldn't have been happening.
Oh my
But if he has taken a ring and proposed to her, a woman that has been in his life and given him children for 8 years, I'm certainly not going to question the true meanings of it. I think no matter what, like he said it best, even though he moved on with another relationship, he always had feelings for her.
Exactly,
that happens.
That
happens in life. But the thing is now he's saying, and I'm certainly not trying to put words in your mouth, you want to be with her.
Yeah, you want to be with me because
I
lost my son, and you want to marry her.
So can you look at her and say, I'm never going to be with you again?
I'm sorry. Wait. Can you look at Niecy and also tell her, no, you wouldn't even have to tell her, because we know the results that you're a liar now. But at the end of the day, Malik, can you please let her know you was never trying to willingly leave my house? I had to have you escorted out my house.
Can you just tell her I'm never going to be with you?
I'm
Never going to be with her.
Thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you for never being with me! Thank you! Boy, do you know how much stress that's relieved on me?
You want to
do saying thank you.
Marry her.
All right.
Why he just released?
She's a young girl. She's very emotional.
Yeah.
Listen, I think we can all understand she lost a child, and the relationship between you and her has ended. She's obviously not happy about that, and I'm sure there's some jealousy that he goes back to the woman that he was with and now loves, and sorry for your loss. But I hope that you can find happiness in each other and enjoy your children and have a nice life together. Good luck to you.
A couple of days after the show, I didn't talk to Malik. That Monday, I ended up going to the doctor, found out I was 9 weeks pregnant. Malik and Niecy, they're not together. Malik is currently here with me. We're currently working things out. We're not fully into a relationship, but we're, trying to build what we had back. We're just basically going with the flow. But I was just calling to give you guys an update. Thank you so much for your help.
I called you, Steve, for help because I watch your show all the time.
Somebody's going to watch this and say, you know what? She was brave enough to do that. I can do that too. Do you want to tell your story on the Steve Wilkos Show? Visit the link in the description to get my help.